Hey guys, this video is going to be a guide on how to write a History IA in an IB history course. Now in a nutshell, the History IA is an historical investigation on a limited topic, because you only have a 2,000 word limit, meaning that you have to focus on something extremely specific and something that you can go very in-depth on within that 2,000 word limit. Now to demonstrate how limited the scope of an IA really should be, I'll post a link to my IA in the description. And as you guys can see, I'm writing about a sub-organization of the Hitlerjugend, to be specific, the BDM, which was the female division of the Hitlerjugend. So it's a very limited topic, and I'm able to go reasonably in-depth within that 2,000 word limit. Now the first part of the History IA will be the so-called plan of investigation. What this essentially is an introduction to your IA. What you have to give here is some very basic background info, just so they're sort of introduced to the topic. You have to state your research question word for word, so you just have to write it into the plan of investigation, essentially. You have to state your methodology, what kind of sources you're using, how you're going to be using them, and you have to state the scope of your investigation. How many sources you're using, the time period which is covered by the sources, and any other sort of information that you might find relevant to basically presenting the scope of your investigation. Now the next part of your IA will be the summary of evidence. What you have to do here is actually very simple. All you have to do is summarize all the facts, quotes, and other forms of evidence that you'll be using in your analysis. So basically you just have to write them all down. Now the next part is the evaluation of sources, as it's called. What you do here is you pick two sources, and then just the same way as you would do in a paper 1 in the question 3, is you evaluate the sources based on the origin, where it came from, the purpose, what it was intended to do, the value, what is the value that you see in the source, and what are the limitations that you see in the source. So just do this for 2 of your sources. Try to pick sources where you can actually sort of write quite a decent amount and you can go sort it into detail. And that's all you have to do in this part. The next part of your IA is the analysis. And this can be seen as the main part of the History IA. And what you basically have to do here is you have to write a completely standard history essay using the evidence which you presented in the summary of evidence to answer the research question which you presented in your plan of investigation. It's also important to note that seeing as this is the main part of your History IA, you have to try to at least have 1,000 words, at least, to spare on the analysis itself. And on the conclusion, again very simple, simply summarize your analysis just like you would do with the conclusion of a normal history essay, and then present a final answer to the research question. Now one final thing that's maybe important to point out is the fact that citations and proper citation of the sources which you're using is extremely important in the History IA. One small thing I can tell you guys about to help you out is the website citedthisforme.com, which helps you guys to actually do the citation properly. And with that, I'm done for this video. Thanks for listening.